Hey guys, it's Joe Wilson for StraightTalkBahamas.com. It's a website where we try to discuss Bahamian issues in an objective manner as possible. I also like to encourage Bahamians to go out and educate themselves, to read upon the issues and learn as much as they can so that they can engage in discussing the issues of the Bahamas and trying to direct us in the best way possible. Today I want to discuss the first 100 days of the PLP administration. The new Prime Minister Perry Christie often said on the campaign trail, and here's a quote: "The PLP is committed to hitting the ground running with a specific agenda for the first 100 days." And now that they are the government, the first 100 days are here, and Bahamians are very keen on holding them accountable. So what I want to do today is look at the 14 promises that were laid out in this plan, and let's try to, I guess, get an evaluation of what we should expect from this first 100 days. So the first point they have here is launch key elements of Project Safe Bahamas and Operation Ceasefire, including the reintroduction of urban renewal. Urban renewal was a topic that the PLP discussed over and over and over, saying that if it was not cancelled by the FNM, that it would have helped reduce crime. So I think this is a good thing to watch to see what they do with these particular projects, Project Safe and Operation Ceasefire, and see how urban renewal can impact crime. Their goal here is said that they will launch key elements. That doesn't mean that crime will stop in the first 100 days. It means that they will start the process of having these programs take root. I really think that we cannot hope to affect crime until, I guess, I would judge them after about 2 or 3 years to see if there's any reduction in crime. I don't think you can to judge them in the first few months or the first year of their administration. So let's go to the second point here. Prioritize a doubling of the nation's investment in the education and training of Bahamians. Now, I understand that the PLP promised to double the education budget over their 5-year terms. This point that they have here for the first 100 days that we're judging them on, prioritize a doubling of the nation's investment. I don't really know what that means. How do we judge if you prioritize something? I don't know. Maybe they'll put somebody in particular charge of that, or they make some type of announcement. But for the purpose of the first 100 days, I don't think we could really judge this point here. It's unclear what they will be doing. Create a ministry for Grand Bahama. I think this one has already been done. A minister has been named for Grand Bahama, and that is a good thing. I'm looking to see what impact that will have on Grand Bahama. Institute a mortgage relief plan in conjunction with private sector lenders. This one was discussed, I think, a few weeks before the before the election. I think it was a 10-point plan they outlined that was very controversial. So we need to look, at least pay attention to see what they will do in regard to this. Um, Institute. That simply means to set up or to lay the groundwork. Again, that's something that can be accomplished in the first 100 days, laying the groundwork for a mortgage relief plan. It doesn't mean that people will get relief in the first 100 days. Set in motion the plan to secure the nation's borders with steps to hire new personnel, acquire new technology, and initiate new training programs. Again, this is a good plan, I guess, a good clip, I guess, set in motion. Again, this means that within the first 100 days, we should hopefully see them making some moves toward getting securing the borders. I'm particularly interested in not, everybody probably thinks about human trafficking, Haitians, etc., which is a big part, but I also want to see them lock down on the Dominicans and whoever else are poaching in Bahamian waters and stealing Bahamian resources. Let's go on to the next point. Reposition the Bahamas Development Bank so it becomes again a key player in creating jobs and expanding small and medium-sized businesses. I did see an article in the Tribune where the president of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce was making a comment about the Bahamas Development Bank, and how it needs to be repositioned as an investment bank rather than a lending bank. And it needs to be taken out from under government because people don't really like to pay the government back. So again, reposition. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna actually do. I guess they probably will name somebody a chairman and start um, repositioning. But again, for the first 100 days, it's kind of difficult to track that, or to really, yeah, to really track that. So let's go on to the next one. Reestablish the Minister of Financial Services and Investment. Okay, this one has already been done. Ryan Pinder has been named the Minister of Financial Services. I work in the financial industry myself, and I think that this is needed. It allows us to focus on the industry and hopefully keep us competitive with the region. Introduce the Employee Pension Fund Protection Act to keep pension funds out of the reach of business owners and to make directors and officers personally liable for breaches. This is an important piece of legislation that I hope they get introduced within the first 100 days. I think we had some issues with several companies where people might have lost their pension or it was up in doubt as to what was happening. Clico comes to mind, and I think City Market comes to mind, where people were kind of not sure what was going to happen with their insurance companies. Renew the nation's commitment to national health insurance. Support the Public Hospital Authority in the acquisition of much needed new cancer screening technology. This one is pretty much all fluff. I don't know what it means to renew the commitment. You know, I know what it means, but how do you measure that? Again, and then they also said that they're going to support the public authority in the acquisition of the much needed cancer screening technology. Okay, they're supporting them. They're not buying it themselves. They're supporting them. So how do you support them? Perhaps, I don't know, a reduced duty, something like that. Maybe donate, maybe pay a part of it. So we'll have to see what they do in that regard. But it's not really something that you can track in the first 100 days. Bring together representatives from all sectors to launch a 40th anniversary of Independence National Congress to begin enactment of Vision 2030. I guess this is some kind of this is a plan to for the first time introduce a long-term multi-year plan for the Bahamas as opposed to working in 5-year stints. But again, it's hard to measure to see exactly what they're doing. But I guess they say bring together. So if they form some kind of committee with representatives, I guess we can say that they accomplished this goal. So we can look out for that. Provide details for a referendum on national lottery gambling in the Bahamas. And this is where the lawyers come in and take over. Provide details. Most people are thinking that we're going to have a referendum, but they're saying they're going to provide details for a referendum. So in the first 100 days, we can expect them to say, okay, we will have a referendum XYZ days, and this is what the structure will be if we decide to have a lottery. I guess that's what they mean. So I'm looking, personally, I am all for a national lottery, and I think it's high time we have one. And you know, it's basically legal. You know, let's stop fooling ourselves. Tax it and make revenue off it. The people that want to gamble will gamble. The people that don't won't. That's it. Anyway, next point: reduce the maximum level of stamp tax payable on real estate transactions from 12% to 2%. This one is great. I always like reduction in taxes. If you read my blog, you know I'm not interested in paying any more taxes. But real estate has kind of suffered a lot. It's kind of slowed down, and I think any reduction in taxes will help to drive that economy, which in turn will drive construction, and obviously boost more jobs and increase the economic activity. So reducing taxes is a good thing. Reintroduce ceiling on maximum level of real property taxes payable on a residence. I didn't even know Bahamians Nasuvians paid real property tax. But I know, I think when the house is sold, most people pay the real property tax rather than paying it on a yearly basis like in a Grand Bahama, not Grand Bahama, in Freeport. But put a ceiling on it, I guess that would help the rich people, eh? Anyway, I'm not too familiar with that, but we'll see what happens. I think we can really measure that and the one before. So that's it. That's the first. That's a evaluation of the first 100 days. What the PLP plan to accomplish.